I'm 25, multi-millionaire, portfolio in crores, multiple companies operating in profits. But throughout the process, I've done some mistakes. So here's what I got. Lot of mistakes and learnings. So here I have 28 brutal truths you need to know, or I need to know as my younger self in order to become more successful.
Point number one, direction over speed. What does that mean? Let's say you are a person and there's a hell over here and there's a heaven over here. If you choose the direction towards hell and you are moving really fast, then you are going to land in hell. But you choose a direction towards heaven and you're moving slow. It's fine, but you will reach at least the heaven. So what I'm trying to say is, it's more important that you have a direction. Even if you're in very speed, but you're going in the wrong direction, you're not going to lead to the position that you want to be in life.
I always prefer to spend the most amount of time on direction side, because the more I spend my time on that, then I would be able to actually reach to a position which I want to do. So think about this. You start a business which is, I will sell mobile covers to Nokia phone holders. Not a good idea. It's because the day by day market share is declining. But instead you choose, I'm going to sell covers to iPhone users. In that case, you have a growing market. So the chances of you becoming successful is higher. Even though your speed is slow in the iPhone wala part, you would still grow your business. While even if your speed is really fast, while having the Nokia business, you're going to fail for yourself. So what you need to make sure for yourself is that you have direction over speed.
Number two, spend on your weapons. You have your laptop, you have your mobile phone, you have your webcam, you have all these things that you use every single day into your business. Now all of these things are nothing but your weapons, and these weapons are nothing but for war. Because imagine this, you are going for a war but you don't have the best weapons to fight for. Will you be able to win the war? If you're really skilled, yes, but if you're not, chances are no. And technically right now you don't have that much money with you. That's why you're watching videos on YouTube. So if you don't have that kind of money and you are broke and you are fighting a war against people who have all the weapons in the world, you need to upgrade your weapons to the best possible case scenario so that you can at least have a moderate win in the war.
Think about this. Let's say there's a top player, a jockey who can ride the horse really well, but he has the worst horse in the world. Would he be able to win? No. Similarly, you are not so good of a jockey right now, plus you have a really bad horse. The chances of you becoming successful, negligible. In that case, what you need to do is you need to simply have a better horse, so that even if you are not such a good player, having these gears make you do your work faster and more efficiently, due to which you can go through the course much more harder.
Point number three, spend good amounts on the place of time. That means, as me, Himanshu Agrawal, I spend two places the most time. The one is on my bed, which is for sleeping, and I spend around 8 hours on that. And the second is on a workstation. That means where I work. So this is my chair and this is my table, and I work the most over here. So I spend around 8 to 9 hours over here as well. I used to, now I spend 3-4 hours, but I used to spend 8-9 hours over there. And that's why the most amount of money I would make would go to these two places and not anything else, because these are places of time. I'm spending the most time over here. So my most money should go to these places. I think I have the best pillow over here, the best bed sheet over here, the best AC that I can have for cooling it. The length is perfect, and all these things I have to make sure that they are perfect so that I can have the best sleep possible.
And the second is my workstation, which I spend the most hours on. Let's say 8 hours in sleeping and 8 hours at workstation. So that two places should be spent the most amount of time on, so that I can actually get that money utilized on me. I have the best gaming chair, best laptop stand, table that goes up and down. Just to give you an idea, I've spent around 2.5 lakhs just on my workstation. So think about that for a second. Why am I spending so much of money just on workstation? It's because I spend the most amount of time over there, and I need to have the best gears and the best weapons for the war.
Point number 4, there are two kinds of people. The people who take away from you, and there are people who give to you. Now, if you are over here, you need to add these kind of people in your life who can give and add more value in your life. And these people who take away from you, you need to remove them and minus them from your life as much as possible. A simple activity is to just check your call log and past 50 people, whoever was there, just make a plus or a minus. Plus, matlab they wanted to add, minus, that means they wanted to take.
If the majority people were take away ones, chances are you're broke. It's because people are taking away from you. But if the majority ones were the ones who were giving you, then chances are you're building wealth for yourself. So you need to just keep on disproportionately increase the number of people who give you and decrease the number of people who take from you, due to which you would be able to create wealth for yourself.
Point number 5. If there is someone who is in a problem and you are like, I want to solve this problem, what you can do is just you can advise them, you can never fix them. If you think, oh, I am the coach, I am the consultant, I am the guru and I will fix everyone in the world, you can't do that, because people have their own miseries and they love their miseries, and you can't take them out of it unless they want.
The knowledge you have, the advice you have is not valued in front of that person, due to which they are not following it. So you advise once, if they're not following, cool, move on to the next person. And don't try to fix anyone. I don't try to fix my clients, fix my customers, fix my team members, fix my investors. I just try to advise. If they can't, I just let them go off from my life, because I need people who can understand where am I going with my vision and follow that with me.
Point number 6. Be okay with losing money, because thousands will lead to lakhs, lakhs will lead to crores. The simple example is that if you are okay with losing money, it is just saying that you have an abundant mindset. Let's say you lost some 1,000 rupees. No problem, because that 1,000 rupees loss will teach you a lesson, and that lesson in learn will make you 1 lakh or more. Then you will lose lakhs. When you lose lakhs, you will learn different lessons, and those lessons will make you crores. So it's very okay to lose money. Just don't be stupid with it, but it's okay to lose money, because that loss of money will create new money, will get new lesson for you, which will create new money. But if you keep on losing that money, but you don't take the lesson, you will not make the new money.
In my journey, I can give you hundreds and thousands of examples of me losing money again and again and again and again, due to which finally that fast forward failingness is giving me the result that I want in my life at the end. So if, let's say, I spent 3,000 rupees on ads and it did not work out, no problem. Be okay with spending money. Be okay with losing money, because that lost money taught you something. Now you spend money again, boom, you make some money. So now you're from thousands to tens of thousands. Now you lose some more money again, you make lakhs. You lose some more money again, you make 10 lakhs. And that losing of money, the more you try to hold it, the more money will come to you less, because the flow of money is stopping from you itself. So let it go. Be okay with losing. Just be wise. Don't be an idiot. Be okay with losing that money so that more money can come, and it's completely fine to lose money. Don't feel like a failure just because you lost some money.
Point number 7. Charity should be a habit of yours. The more money you give out in the world, the more you are doing well for the world. And the more you are well doing for the world, you are having good deeds. These good deeds compound over time, and when they compound over time, they reflect at places that you don't even think of, due to which you will be able to become well off in life. I did not say rich, I said well off. That means some problems that are on the spiritual level or on other levels would be solved in your life, because you're doing those good deeds which are coming back to you in other face, shape and forms.
After going through all of that, what I've decided is there's only 2 things to life: growth and contribution. That's it. That gives you a purpose, that gives you a meaning, that gives everything. Now for you it might be different, but for me it's growth and contribution. And if that is correct, then the only thing I want to do is create so much impact and impact in so many lives that even if I'm not there, or even if I don't exist anymore, and even I've not reached that place yet, my impact is still over there. Because me doing a charity to cancer patients, I may not meet them ever in my life, but if that helps just one person, that's a major impact you have done. And all these good deeds just keep on compounding with time, and you don't know what these deeds lead to and save you from. You would be saying that, Himanshu, you're rich, so you can talk about charity. I'm not. Well, when I was making 2,000 rupees a month, I used to do charity. Maybe a 50 rupees, but I used to do.
Point number 8. Learn to draw boundaries. Let's say you have a house. This house has no boundaries. What can happen? A person will come, roam here and there, and just go, right? Second person would come, roam here and there, throw a stone and then go. And all these things would happen. The reason those things are happening is because you have not set a boundary. The day you set a boundary around your house and you fence it, and you be like, I do not tolerate someone coming in, and you put a gate over here which says no entry allowed, the number of people who used to come would be 99.9% less. And the reason would be because you set a boundary. Similarly in life, if this is you and you don't set a boundary around you, everyone and anyone can just come in and destroy your peace, your mental peace, your happiness.
So if you are having that passive behavior of people bullying you or people being aggressive on you, and you are like, oh, I'm just a victim. No, you build that boundary due to which people are letting you do that. If you don't build that boundary, people will not do it. So be okay with creating boundaries and more boundaries. I'll tell you a very simple example of this. In my team, it's a very simple rule. You can't send me voice notes. It's a boundary. You can't send me voice notes because I feel voice notes is a waste of time. I can send voice notes because it's easier to send. But the only thing you can send me back is text because it's easier to read. And I don't want to have a 3.5 minute voice note, blah, 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 doing all of that. Second boundary I've set, if your voice note is more than 1 minute long, do a call. Like what voice notes are for, so that you can communicate in shorter time. If it's taking longer, just call me and get the thing done. So these are just some examples of creating boundaries. Obviously, there are much more to boundaries, but you need to create yours.
Ninth, there are multiple opportunities that comes, every year, and you might lose them, which is completely fine. Let's say in 2020 you lost COVID. A lot of people made good money in COVID, but you lost it. Let's say after that you lost TikTok opportunity. Let's say you lost Bitcoin opportunity. Let's say you lost after that AI opportunity. Right now this is time of agents. Maybe you lose this as well, no problem. What you need to understand is losing opportunity is okay, because new ones come. But making this a habit of continuously losing opportunities is the worst thing you can do for yourself.
You need to see for yourself that what opportunities are in front of me. If one went by, it's okay, but I'll not make it a habit.
Point number 10. I've seen that self-esteem is the number one indicator for success. It is directly proportional to success. The higher the self-esteem, the more success you have. But when you go to places where you are not invited, then the self-esteem actually goes down because you feel alienated at those places. The reason you feel alienated is because nobody called you, but you still went because you wanted some kind of a validation. And when that happens, that alienated feeling decreases your self-esteem, which decreases your success overall, because they are directly proportional.
Because what I've seen between billionaires and millionaires is that self-esteem is one of the biggest factors of they becoming successful. A low self-esteem person cannot become successful at all, is because they have not understood how to handle themselves. So how will they handle the world? So self-esteem is all about you. Don't go to places that you're not invited.
Point number 11. If you ask me that, Himanshu, what should be my North Star? Like what should I target for continuously? Then I would say the North Star is per hour value. How do you calculate it? Very simple. You take your income, you divide it by 30 and you divide it by working hours. So let's say my income is 30 lakhs a month. Right? And I divide that by 30 and I work 10 hours a day. So my per hour income would be in the scenario of, I think, 10k per hour. So I know that I make 10k per hour, right? Now anything that is below this, I would not do this. And your only job is to double your per hour value, because if you double your per hour value, you will double your monthly income, which will lead you to have a bigger business in life. And that's why this is the constant North Star. If your per hour value increases, you become a person of value. Your personal value increases because your per hour value increases. And this should be the constant North Star, not your revenue, not your profit, not your expense, not your team size. Anything of that does not matter. The only thing that matters is per hour value, and is it increasing every single day.
In US, you see everyone is paid in per hour, but in India, that's not the concept. So we need to embrace that concept, because that teaches you the value of 1 hour, not value of 1 month. The reason we charge for retainers every month, 1 lakh a month, 5 lakh a month, 6 lakh a month, and randomly, is because we don't know our per hour value. The day you calculate it, you'll be like, oh shit, I'm charging so less, which will lead you to increase your prices at the end. But what I've seen, that from the age of 20, I've been calculating my per hour value, like how much my per hour cost. And when I combine that for a year, I saw it's 40 lakhs plus GST. So I charge that much for a mastermind, and people pay it because I respect it. I create a boundary for the prices, so people respect it. Similarly, when you focus on per hour value, you become a person of value, because you know that your 1 hour is very, very, very auspicious. The value of time goes up. The value of time in your head goes up. The amount of money you make per hour increases, and people around you also start to elevate, your team members, investors, customers, clients, because they see that your per hour value is something that is directionate and it is something that you focus on. So they do the same, due to which the whole organization just boosts up into money.
Point number 12. When you start something, you'll suck, and that's totally okay. If this is you, you need to understand that skill is a compounded journey. It's an exponential journey. So for this whole time, you're going to suck at it and you're not going to be good, which is around 1 to 2 years. And people will mock you. People will make fun of you. It's completely fine. The reason it is completely fine is because this exponential journey takes time. But this is an inflection point. Here, if you put enough escape velocity, you will just escape it and it would start compounding from here and you'll become really, really rich fast. But the problem is 99% of people quit at this place, and because they quit, they never become rich.
When I was 20, I used to run ads and be like, it's not working. I don't think I'm good at this. I used to do some maths on the Excel sheet and be like, oh, maths is so tough. I used to do a sales call, not convert, and be like, I'm a bad salesman. And these were limiting beliefs I was creating on myself. Till one day I was like, actually, everyone sucks at the first place, because I saw a person who was 20 steps ahead of me and they told the same story. I was bad at maths. I was bad at sales calls. I was bad at this, that. I was like, I'm also bad, but this person reached over there. And the reason they reached over there is because they did not quit, and they understood that it's okay to suck for first few months or years, because that's how learning happens. Learning is a change in behavior that you do after going through something. So if I read an article and I changed my behavior, I learned it. If I read it and just memorize it, it does not mean I've learnt it, right? So you need to read it and then change your behavior as per that. So I met with that person who's 20 steps ahead of me. He told me that, you know what, it's just a limiting belief, come over it. I started practicing it and boom, I'm good at maths. I can close on sales calls like anything and I'm making money with that.
Choice of content is much greater than how much content you use. So how much you consume is not that important. The reason that how much is not that important is because choice is more important. It's again direction versus speed. If you just consume content every single day, you consume all the YouTube videos, you consume all the Instagram reels, you consume all the LinkedIn content, you do all of that, you're not going to have higher acumen of business. The reason you don't have higher acumen of business is because you're not retaining that knowledge, and the knowledge you're getting is not as per your situation. Everyone is on a different level in their life. And this person does not need what this person needs, and this person needs is what not this person needs. And you need to understand that. So same mentor can be a god for this person and can be an idiot for this person. It's completely fine. The reason of that is because every person has a different need as per their stage. So that's why choice of content should matter a lot.
I basically try to neglect everything. But when I pick one creator or one person or one book or one author that I feel like, wow, I just become a black hole into him and I absorb everything like a supernova around me and get as much knowledge and information from that person alone. And the reason I do that is because when choice of content is correct, whatever I'm going to consume, though I consume, let's say, only 40 hours, but whatever I'm consuming is actually helping me because I know this person is at the correct stage to help me. And when I consume that content, that elevates me to a new level. And I basically don't consume everything on the internet because most of it is just ChatGPT crap turned into YouTube videos by creators who don't know how to run business but call themselves business experts. I don't follow those people. What I try to follow is people who have done it, and I try to just tell what wrong things I did or what right things I did, and I'm copying from them. That's something that I found useful for myself.
Point number 14, opportunity cost. That means whenever you are spending time. So you need to understand that in life, this is a graph, right? And you are over here when you're born. This is time and this is money. If you don't make any money, time is keep on running. So this graph is a constant one. So you will keep on walking like this for the next 100 years, whatever your age is, and you'll die. Like that's what the point is. But the only game you need to play is how fast you can come above this graph and keep on growing from here and just keep on just escalating yourself, which will lead you to make more and more money. Now, when you don't take action, you are leading into something called opportunity cost. So let's say I did not took action till this point, right? This point I did not took action. Now, if you see over here, if I took action, I would make this kind of gap, which is the actual wealth I would make. But because I did not took action, I was on over here, I lost all this money. And this money I lost is called the opportunity cost. The cost of the opportunity of not grabbing the opportunity. And this leads you to become poorer with time because you're not taking the shot. And that not taking the shot is making you lose all the gains that you can make.
If you see, when everyone in the world starts to talk about something, that's the time to exit. That's not the time of entry. Because if everyone is talking about it, it's already too late. You need to enter into things by when people are not talking about it. And when you actually do that, you unlock huge amounts of wealth for yourself. And when I was 20 years old, I was trying to chase, the next thing that's coming on the internet. And then I was like, wait a second. Everyone who's telling about those things is rich, but I'm not. That means they're catching up things faster than I was, due to which they become the expert by the time it is the main thing, and they actually become rich of it. And that's when I was like, let me find trends. And then I went deep down into trends, and then I saw something called as an inflection point, which is when a graph is up in, let's say, Google Trends or something, you see an inflection point. If you get it at the right inflection point, you'd be able to unlock massive wealth for yourself. I'll tell you a simple trick. I had a funnel which was called as AI funnels. Basically, everyone was teaching funnels, but AI was like on the verge of it, right? And I was the first one technically in the country to start AI workshop, and I made AI funnels. Thousands of people copied after it. Did anyone survive? Nope. I survived well, very good. And the reason for that was I was at the inflection point. When it was taking over, I knew it, I learned it, I practiced it, I tested it, I knew what was wrong, what was right. I started teaching it to people, and boom, it went to the inflection point. Due to which I got the most amount of customers in the least amount of time, and that's why I grew my company to really millions in just a short period of time.
Point number 15. Making a brand is above all. What you need to understand is brand is above everything else. The reason I'm saying so is because your brand is nothing but your reputation, and reputation compounds with time. There are three things that compound: money, reputation, and skills. So you need to compound all these three with time so that you get exponential returns over a long period of time. Now, if brand is everything and reputation is nothing but brand is what I feel, your brand should nothing be but a name. So it can be a company name or your name, and your name is a brand, I would call it, when your name is a solution. That means the moment people have a particular problem in their life, they think about your name. And if they can think about your name, you have a brand. Example, if I ask you, let's say you go to your home, and when you go to your home, your key of the home is lost. Now you want a chabi wale bhaiya. So every society has a chabi wale bhaiya. Let's say the chabi wale bhaiya name is Sonu. Now everyone in the colony says Sonu bhaiya bulao, Sonu bhaiya bulao, Sonu bhaiya bulao. So Sonu has a brand, and that brand is nothing but a solution, and that is a name that is a solution. And because he has done it for years, he has a reputation, and now he has built a brand over it. So brand is not about how good your fonts are, how good your typography is. Brand is moreover about, is your name a solution to a problem?
Today, I can acquire companies on a single call and get everything done like in 7 days and acquire the company in 7 days. The reason I can do that is because I have a reputation of that. They know that Himanshu is coming not to screw me off, but to actually help me. They know that the reason I can attract good talent as my team is because the team member who's coming new sees LinkedIn post of my old employees and be like, wow, it was a good culture, because when they were taking exit, they told this much about the company. So I think it must be a good culture, and then they enter. So I acquire good talent, good customer, good clients, good investors, everything, because I have a right reputation. So brand above everything else. So I feel that number of followers, subscribers, all these things matter to become a brand. And there's like, actually not. It's because when in the industry there's a big problem going on and someone is not able to crack something, I've heard this multiple times from multiple people, Himanshu kar payega. And that is what your brand is. Because my brand is solving problems that other people can't, especially in marketing and sales, customer acquisition. So if my name comes again and again in mind of people when they have a problem that no one can solve, that's when I know I have built a brand.
Point number 16, when things get easy, you actually need to go harder. I'll tell you what happens. When things get easy, when it's a good time happening, 3 months good time, 6 months good time, you feel now it's easy because you have reached that standard. Actually, you haven't reached that standard, it's just that it is good times. So at easy times, you actually get complacent. When you get complacent, your energy is down, your momentum is down, your inertia is down, all these things get down. And when actually those easy times turn into hard times, you are going to play with this level of attitude to this level of game, which is really hard. And that's why chances are that your company would lead to a situation of bankruptcy or getting closed or abruptly getting closed.
When you became complacent, when times it is easy, it is very hard to get that momentum back. And when times again become tough, it is very hard for you to continue and your momentum actually breaks. And one of the hardest things to get back in an organization is momentum. Momentum of you and momentum of your team members is the hardest thing to get back, and I've experienced this because when I was having this retired life for 6 months, basically the momentum was gone. And now I'm telling you, you can see the sweat. It's very hard to get that kind of momentum again in your life, is because everyone is now scattered. So to get them back up, I would need 6 to 12 months just to get that energy back and move forward from there.
Point number 17, don't pick random books. And the reason I say so is because people see an Instagram reel where someone has said 5 books that you should read, and they read all the books that the person said and they are like, oh, I'm more knowledgeable. Let me watch another episode of Shark Tank. This will not make you rich. This will not make you smart. How I do it? Well, you need to have a book for yourself, and that book should at least come from 5 different recommendations. If 5 people are recommending it, chances are it is good. And it should be organic, not promoted. Now, once you have that book, you're going to read that book at least 10 times, because until and unless you don't get the total value out of that book by applying all the things that was said, there's no use of you reading that book and memorizing it.
Not just read it and leave it, complete it and leave it. That's a stupid idea. Instead, what I would do is I would read it, see a point that I can apply in my life, and close the book there itself. Whether it is on summary or chapter 1 or chapter 6, I don't care. And then try to apply it. Once I've done, then I'll open the chapter 2 or chapter 3 or wherever I was. You need to understand for yourself. You need to use books, not read books. I see a lot of people saying, I've read 120 books. But you make 2 lakhs a month, brother. Not a good idea. I would recommend that take one book, but be so thoughtfully master of it that if someone asks a chapter name, you can tell it. Like, one of the books I've picked is Think and Grow Rich, right? I know what is chapter 2, chapter 8, chapter 16. I know that there's no chapter 16 and there's chapter 12, but there are multiple, and I know like how the book goes, like what's chapter 3, auto suggestion, the first paragraph, like I know how does it go. And the reason I know it because I've read it again and again and again and again and again till I master the book, like I've used it properly. And then I go to the next book. So if you've read a lot of books, does not mean you're intelligent. You just have more information, not wisdom. When information can connect the dots, that's when wisdom happens. But when you can use a book and you have 2 books used properly, that's when you have wisdom, because you can tell someone what to do and what not to do based on that book.
Point number 18. Learn to say no to other things. When you say no to something, you are saying yes to other thing. And the other thing is nothing but the thing that you're already doing. So you have already a thing, right? You already have a thing that is working out. Your business, your side hustle, whatever it is. Now, when a shiny object syndrome comes, hey, you can do this. 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 You need to say continuous no to these things. When you say no to these things, you are saying yes to your thing, and that yes to your thing is nothing but you actually giving more and more and more and more in time to this, due to which you get the exponential curve and the compounded return that you want.
So if my priority at that time of life is ICE and someone says do this, no, do this, no, do this, no, and I'm all focused on to building this one thing, I'll become monopoly, because everyone is saying yes to everything else. Become my keynote speaker, yes. Get this PR done, yes. Launch one more product, yes. No, one product, 4 years. That's how you build a monopoly, and that's when you get referrals, and that's when you actually bring profits into the company, because you focused on one thing for a long period of time. You said no to everything else. That's how you built yes on that one particular thing, and that with time becomes a compounded natural thing.
Point number 19. Customization for one is hurdle for many. The simple reason I'm saying so is, let's say you went on a sales call and you get 4 different people, right? So on the first call, the person says, hey, I want this X thing. Let's say your offer is ABC. And this person says, I want X thing. So you're like, okay, I'll add ABC plus X. Now this person says, I want Y. So you add ABC plus Y. This person says ABC plus Z. And this person says, I want PQR. So you have ABC PQR. Now at 4 clients only who are paying you, let's say 1 lakh a month, at just 4 lakhs a month, you're at a position where you have Y, Z, X, PQR, like everything in your business plus ABC that you are doing. And when that happens, you come into a problem of complexity. Your business is not big, but you have already added complexity. And when that happens, you don't know what to pitch to the 5th person, because you've already added so much. And because you've done it for one person, you'll do it for many people. Because you'll do it for many people, the complexity increases with time a lot, and that increase in complexity leads you to not scale after one time. So what you need to do, you need to productize the service so that you can give it to more people and scale your service.
So when you customize for even one person, you're creating a hurdle for a lot of people, because you know that you cannot scale now. But once you have a designated process of this is what we give. Can you add this? Nope. But why can't you add this? Because we know what works. You're doing it for the first time. We are doing it for the 1000th time. And that's when the customer is like, oh, so let me be onto this. And when they come into it, they actually get a result. So customization for even one is a hurdle for many. Try to not customize your life, your products, your services for customers, because that will create hurdles to go to a many scale.
Point number 20, take more notes. Imagine this. I am teaching you in a video and I'm still taking notes while you are watching the video and not taking notes. There's a difference in hunger, right? Because I've shot this video in multiple angles. I am literally doing it 3 times to teach you, but you are there one time listening to it and be like, oh, mujhe sab aata hai. And that's what your problem is. You feel that by just completing a video, you have mastered the video. No, you haven't, because if you had the money. The only thing you have done is you have memorized it. Because if I ask you what's the 4th point, you'll tell me, but you have memorized it. You have not learned it. The whole art is about learning and retaining it, so that in a tough situation, when you actually need to use the point that I'm teaching you, you are able to use it because you retained it. And the retention would only happen when you take notes for yourself.
The other way around that I see this is, when I'm on stages and speaking for 5 days straight, 3 days straight, 7 days straight, I am not having any notes, and I'm speaking for 12 hours a day for 5 days continuously. The reason I can do that is because I've retained stuff over here. When it's over here, I don't need to read a book or have notes or do something like that in order to tell other people. I can just be impromptu about it. If you watch this video, it is not scripted. I just have bullet points on what I need to say and I'm done. Because I know what I'm speaking from my heart, and that is what I can deliver in the video. Not some teleprompter bullshit or a bulleted point list on reading it and saying out to you. Because that way, I'm not able to learn myself and retain the information. So what's the point of making videos?
Point number 21, put your oxygen marks first and not others. I see a lot of people try to change the world, try to change the relatives, friends, colleagues, co-workers, team members, investors, like who not. They try to change everyone in the world, but they don't try to fix themselves. And when they don't do that and they don't put an oxygen mask on themselves first, they lead them not growing And because of that extra money or something that you don't have, the resources you don't have, you can't help all these people as well. And then you regret your whole life, like what I've done. The first thing is get yourself up. Make enough that you are comfortable and then help everyone in the world. For 3 years, I did not live with my parents. And my parents were like, such a bad kid you are, you don't live with us, what will happen to us, blah, 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 blah. We were in a rented house, not very good situation, lower middle class status. But for 3 years, I did not live with them. I made the money. I bought them the dream villa that they wanted, and now they live in that happily. See, 3 years, first my oxygen mask. Done. Now I help my parents. As simple as that.
But if I was at my house, would not be able to build a business, would not be able to become big, and we would be in the same rented house for our life, stuck over there. So I put my oxygen mask first, I can put on others as well. Shruti wanted a car, my team member, where I'm like, okay, I'll do the first payment, regular EMIs you'll take care of. Sagar wanted a BMW bike, I'm like, take mine. Somesh wanted to start a business, a restaurant business, I'm like, I'll put the capital down. The reason I can do that is because my oxygen is done, so I can help other people, right?
Point number 22, find bigger problems to solve. The size of the problem you have, decides how big of a life you have. If your problem for the whole day is about electricity bill, then your life is not that great. But imagine the size of the problem in your life is how to go to Mars. Like, I think your life is pretty amazing because you're trying to solve bigger problems in life that most people don't try to do. That's why you should not pray for no problems. You should instead pray for bigger problems, because that bigger problems will increase the size of your life.
If you are just indulged in small problems in your life, you will not be able to accomplish big things because you're just focused on simple basic things that anybody could solve. One of the hiring questions that we have, and if I'm hiring someone, this is the one question I definitely ask everyone, and this is what I took from Elon Musk. And what I ask is, which is the biggest problem you have solved in your life till now, and how did you do it? And by asking this question, whatever level of the problem the person tells, tell me the level of that person, number one, because that's the toughest problem they have solved. And number two, how do they actually solve a problem? How do they think about it? How do they deal with it? What do they do when it's ups and downs? And that one question just gives me immense clarity on the whole personality of a person, due to which I can hire them or not.
Point number 23, knowledge is power. You need more and more knowledge in order to become more and more wiser, because this knowledge leads to increase in wisdom, due to which you will be able to take calls, take action, solve problems that you were not able to do earlier because of the new knowledge piece you have. I have spent lakhs on just dinners. I have spent lakhs just to take flights to go to someone to meet them for 1 hour and come back to my place. And I've done this again and again and again. Whatever money, energy, effort, time, whatever you have, all of that, if you can put to get more and more knowledge, that is better for you, because Warren Buffett says the biggest investment you can do is in yourself, because that gives you the highest returns.
A simple piece of wisdom that I don't know about is making me lose millions every single month. And what if I could know it? What if I knew that this was the next thing? And it's just about chasing that next part of wisdom, because that will actually help you boost your business faster than anything else, because now you know what you didn't know, and all of these things are your blind spots, so you can't see them. Only the person who's on the other side can see them. Like, I cannot see what's behind my back, but you can see it right now. So that's my blind spot, it's not yours, due to which you can tell me what is wrong, and that will help me elevate faster in my life than anything else.
Point number 24, dedicate a decade, not a day. Most people are trying to become rich in 30, 60 or 90 days. I see this a lot. And if you're trying to do that, I don't think something would happen in your life, because you're dedicating too less of a time. And what will happen is you will not be able to marinate the whole business itself, because you are not giving it time. So if you're playing this game, you will not be rich. But if you're playing the decade game, you have so much time for yourself that you can actually take long-term decisions. Number two, you can actually have exponential growth because the time is over there. And number three, you would not be in a hurry, due to which you will take better decisions. So that's why you have to play a bigger game. If you're doing anything, dedicate a decade or don't do it. If I'm going gym, I'm dedicating a decade. If I'm starting a business, it's for a decade. If I'm starting a side hustle, it's for a decade. Like, whatever I'm doing, I'm dedicating a decade. Now, you might become successful before a decade, it's fine, and you leave it. But you need to dedicate a decade at least in order to make it really, really, really come out.
When I started ICE, I did not know what I was doing. So if you ask me, did you dedicate a decade or a day? I don't know. I just started it because I felt like it. And then things went up. It's 4 or 5 years down the line. Dedicate a decade? I don't think so, because I've reached retirement in 5 years only. But now the next project I'm building, it will take 2.5 years just to make a POC. That means I'll technically make no money till 2.5 years. Like, imagine that for a second. And I'm very okay with that. I'm like very chill with that. All my team members are chill with that. Because we trained ourselves for long-term thinking. It's not on day one. If day one you said we need to make 08 something like this and 2.5 years first money will come in, I would say, I'm not touching it. But today, because I've trained myself on long-term thinking, I can take those bets on 2.5 years, just build the product and not focus on anything else. And I know what I'm doing. So that will lead me to actually get the results and compounded growth over anyone. Is because if my competition now tries to copy me, they need to spend 2.5 years, as what I did without any money. And most of them can't spend 7 days. Well, you become a monopoly after that.
Point number 25, travel to places that you haven't been to because it unlocks new versions of you that you haven't seen before. So if you are over here, right, and you live in this boundary, you have only seen this world and you have only seen perception of this world. But when you travel outside this to places that you can't even think of, like in squares or triangles, you feel like, wow, this is also a place. And this unlocks a new version of you, which is used at some places of life.
Me going on treks, hiking, jet skiing or whatever it is has actually helped me a lot in my business because that unlocks a new version of me. And whenever I need that version, I can get it out. Because when I'm hiking, I need a survival mode of just keep on going. Same as in business. If I'm jet skiing, I need that masterful skill art of handling the jet ski. Well, I can do that because I learned it over there. So I can use that on the sales call as well. So it unlocks new versions of you, which you can use at multiple places.
Point number 26, misery loves company. When there's a person who is not so good and is into misery, loves to have other people who are similar like to him. And the reason he likes to have them is because two things. Number one, he gets a validation that he's on the right path because he's like, oh, I'm just a victim. There's so much misery in my life. And people say, yeah, you are victim. I am victim. This kind of thing gives them validation. And number two, it gives them sympathy because these people be like, nothing will happen. Sab badhiya ho jayega. Koi baat nahi, achhe rahoge. And this leads this person to become even more miserable. And this more miserable person attracts even more miserable people. If you are part of this circle, please get the F out as soon as possible, or else you will become this main person who has created this circle.
People in misery actually love it because of the sympathy they get. So try to get out of it because misery loves company and leave that company as soon as possible.
Number 27. One of the most important things of misery people is that they are gossipers. They are big time gossipers. They just like to gossip around everything. Gossipers are suckers of time. Do not be around them. They are vampires of time. They just eat your time like you will not even know. Has it happened with you that it was a very tough day for you, but at 10 p.m. you got a call from a random person like a friend or someone who do not call you usually and just starts to gossip around, and it's 2 a.m. in the night and you're like, oh shit, I did not sleep. Well, 4 hours gone. You would have got a better sleep or you would have done some work. And these people just keep on sucking more time. And the only thing is, the higher the blood you have, the more they will suck. That means if you're like well and you feel like very, very, very free, if you have 12 hours in a day free, they're going to be around you more. If there's someone who has 5 minutes in a day free, they would be around them less. You need to become a person of value so that you have less and less time for gossipers at least.
As well as lead you to getting short dopamine rush on judging people up. Because when you judge people up, you feel good for some time. Oh, his shirt is not good. So technically you're saying your shirt is good. And that small thing just gives you a little bit of dopamine hit, which makes you feel like, wow, I'm worthy. And now you do it again and again and again. And now you become a judgmental person. A judgmental person cannot run a big team because they will go into micromanagement. And that micromanagement will destroy their companies. One of the biggest reasons I'm just leaving my competitors behind is because of micromanagement. Because when people from their companies come to our company, the one thing they say is, Himanshu, you have not even asked from the past 45 days about my sales report. And I simply say, when you start something, you suck at it. And I know. So for first 90 days, I'm not even to ask what happened. Because I know you're going to suck at it. And it's completely okay because I suck too. But just keep on learning and don't repeat the same mistake. And they're like, wow, what a culture. This small thing keeps the talent acquired for next 5 years, not 5 months. And I don't need to increase salary every single year or increase their commissions every 3 months just to keep them. Because now they're like, wow, I love this environment. I want to grow over here. Because think about it. Why did you start your company? To get autonomy. Autonomy of technique, like how I want to do my work. Autonomy of what I want to do. Autonomy of who I want to do with. Similarly, your employees also want to do that. Have empathy for them. If you judge others, you're never going to have that empathy for you.
Point number 28. I know I'm going to offend a lot of people, but networking is a stupid idea. And the reason I say so is because let's say you are this person and you're a person of no value. You have not made a good product. You don't have a good company. Your team is of 2 people that you can't pay salaries of, like that kind of thing, right? And then you go to a networking event of BNI and this event and that event, and you try to meet new people and you're like, oh, I'm networking with them because we can help each other some way. No, you can't, because you can't even pay your own salary. So how will you help other person? And these people can literally see that in this first 5 seconds of meeting you, that are you able to meet your ends meet or not? If you can't meet your own ends meet, how are you planning that these people help you grow you, because they have a bigger responsibility of growing themselves, and you can't add value because you don't have value yourself. My philosophy is become a person of value. Your network will automatically emerge, because people who will see that what you have done is created value, they would automatically come around you and try to contribute into this value, because they know if they contribute to this, they will be able to exchange some value.
I've not gone to BNI meetings or all these events and all these things. I just do my events and people come to that. And I never went to any other's event. And the reason I don't do that is because I don't believe in networking. I just build a solid product, a solid company with great culture, make the revenues and profits, and automatically the network will emerge.
Bonus number point number 29. Just the fact that you have an internet, you have food, you can watch this video right now, you understand English, because I'm saying all in English. You need to be grateful about that. And the reason you need to be grateful about that is because it's all about the journey. It's all fun in the journey. I've reached the destination that you want to be, which is retired, being on a beach, lying all day and doing nothing and not getting a single call and switched off your phone for 7 days. I've done that. I've been there. I'm telling you, it's not fun. It's a boring thing and you can't have fun with it. And that's why it's all about being grateful.
You can see that these kind of videos takes a lot of effort to bring up to you. And if you found value in this, just comment down which was your favorite point out of all the 29 ones that I've given you, and share this video with someone who would get help from this. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.